Hello, everyone. I am so sorry. I was chitter-chattering on the phone. I did not pay attention to the time, so I do apologize. So I hope everyone is doing really good. I'm going to give it a few and see if anyone hops on. Again, I greatly apologize. I'm setting up as we speak, so don't mind me when I rearrange stuff. I'm trying to get everything set up so we could go over some more runes and stuff like that. Let me just, I shouldn't need this background noise. I'm gonna have to set, give me 1 second. Let's have some background music. I'm so sorry. It's been a busy day. I spent so much time at the fields and then work, and it's like, whoo, trying to get my bearings back and be like, woo. All right, so, and I don't have my phone on a stand because I'm gonna be rearranging some stuff, and I got a new phone case too. So, hey, okay, perfect, cool. I can see comments. So let me just put some music on. Let's see what kind of music we want today. Let's see. Well, we're doing some rune stuff, so let's put some Nordic stuff on. Rhythms of the North, Ethereal Norse. Let me switch it to my Bluetooth, so bear with me, guys. I apologize. I hope everyone's doing really good. No, I'm sorry. I was on a call. I was on the phone. And I lost track of time. I really did. So I greatly apologize, everyone. That was totally my fault. I bear full responsibility. I'm just switching to my, like I said, my Bluetooth. So just give me 1 sec. Devices, soundbar, connect. Here it clicks over. I like my soundbar. My husband did me awesome by buying it for me. It sounds so much clearer than my computer. Can you guys hear that? Hello. Hey, everyone. Perfect. All right, let me turn this on just a little bit. And let me finish getting set up here. So I'm grabbing all the runes that we're going to talk about today. Trying to see. We might get through all of them today. Because, I mean, there's only 24 runes, and we already did the first 5. So we don't have too many left. If the music in the background is too loud, please let me know. I will turn it down. All right. Oh, that's too loud. Okay. All right, I got my runes in front of me, so I'm grabbing the ones I need. Well, I need them all, but we're gonna talk about Kanaz first. We're gonna talk about Gabo. Where's my Gabo? Come on, you're a freaking X. You can't miss you. Gabo. Wunyo. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing really good. See if I can move my teapot. I don't want to get it broke today. So, has anyone gotten any runes since the last time we hung out? Anyone? Perfect. Thank you, Olivia. I really appreciate that. Stay in blanket. I'll keep rolling on it. My son likes to sit on the blanket. Has anyone gotten any runes since last time we talked? Anything new? Has anyone played with any runes? Experimented with any runes? I'm gonna turn my other light on, so bear with me. Don't worry, I'm still gonna give us that beautiful ambiance, guys. But I gotta swap the ambiance. Bring it down. Okay, that's better. A little bit more light is always perfectly necessary. Let's see how I can set this baby up. I hate that my stand doesn't work anymore. Because my new cell phone case doesn't work with holding my phone. Oh, that'll work. That'll work. I can deal with that. Maybe not. I'm gonna get it right, I promise. Today, we will get it right. Okay. Don't mind my other half of my room. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. Get my notes so I don't lose where we're gonna start or anything like that. I've been slowly studying them. Still feel confused, to be honest, but just need more time and I'll get there. Oh, for sure. For sure. Hey, Billy Jow, how are you? Hope you guys, or I hope you're doing really good. I can hear you just fine, and I've had runes. I'm happy to learn and follow. Perfect. I'm broke. Hey, you can go and just get like pebbles and stones and take a really sharp knife and carve runes on them. That works perfectly well too, and it works just as much. Having runes or going out to buy runes, honestly, is just the aesthetic of it. You can use anything and carve runes into it and make it your own. So that works like beautifully as well. But yeah, so don't ever think like it's a money thing, because you could take anything and carve the runes onto it. And sometimes that's actually more powerful than if you go out and buy, you know, like Berkaba, the rune, anything like that. Carol, go to bed. I know it has to be stupid early for you, woman. Go to bed. Okay, so we talked a lot last week, which let me pull my notes out. We talked a lot last week about runes, okay? We talked about the different types and styles you can get as far as like material-wise, wood, crystals. We talked about different types of crystals you can get. We talked a lot about the different types of woods, the representation, the meanings, all that fun stuff. We talked about finding the right set for you and like what you really connect with and stuff like that. And it's really magical that way too, because when you just feel the runes are right, they're just right and they work so beautifully. But I know I've had experiences where I bought runes before and I thought they'd be perfect because they're like my favorite crystal and I love them and they were awesome. And then I was like, I don't feel any connection to these whatsoever. So I re-gifted them to someone else. Well, not re-gifted, but I gifted them, to someone else. Because when I bought them, I thought they'd be perfect, but I just couldn't connect with them. Where some other runes that I have, I connect so well with that I live and breathe with them. You know what I mean? So that's like a huge thing too. So that's always like magical and awesome. And then we also talked about, you know, can you buy them in person or can you buy them online? Like, which is better? And we already established it really just as your own personal preference. Some people prefer to buy their own runes. Some people would prefer to, you know, be gifted a set, which is amazing too in itself. Olivia says, true, I wanted to see which one spoke to me in person. I haven't gotten a chance. That means your perfect set is out there waiting for you. And that's actually more powerful than most people realize, because if you have that patience, because I'm a very impatient person. When I want to buy something, I want to buy something. But having that patience to be like, these don't feel right, or I just haven't felt that set that's really calling out to me, that means your set, when you do get it, is probably going to be the most powerful set you have. That's going to be your to-go set. And like Sarai says, yes, you can even put a little bit of blood into them, especially if you make your own. That's the best. One day I will make my own, but I do want forged ones, which you guys will be excited for. So I did buy myself some forged pendants. I was so excited. I bought a forged necklace over from Europe, and it'll be shipped here in a few weeks, of course, but it's handmade just for me on my specifications. I'm really excited about. And then I bought myself a talisman forged necklace also, so I'm really excited about that too, because it's in brass. This one's in brass, the other one's in iron, so they're both like really magical. But the one is a rune casting necklace, so he takes the iron and then he'll carve 3 runes based off of his reading that he gets from your full name, like not your full name, but your name that you give him, and he does a rune reading for you. But he puts the runes on this pendant, and you know, you get your reading and the pendant to go with it. oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see what my runes are that he picks, because I know my runes that are my very specific, like I'm Thorazaz, I'm Tiwaz, and I'm what would be the other one? Uruz, for sure. So those three I would say like are my biggest ones, and they're very warrior spirited, they're very powerful, they're very confident given. So those would be like my huge three. But I'm very curious to see what someone else pulls for me. So I did get that in a pendant, well, a talisman, because that's what I'm going to use it as, a talisman. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll have to like do a reveal, guys, when it comes in. So you guys will be really excited. But it's supposed to be here hopefully by the end of the month. It was my birthday present to myself, so I was really excited. Oh, for sure, Ellen, for sure. I can't wait. Oh, I'm glad you could stop in, Ellen. I know it's just for a little. I know I'm later than I normally am. I do apologize. You need to do some readings in them, Carol. I think you're going to love them. If you want, you and I can do like readings on the side. I'm totally cool with that if you want to practice and stuff. So Sarah says, the blank rune, does it have a purpose or is it an extra? Silly question. Never a silly question. So the blank rune, which I have right here, is actually also known in two different ways. You can call it the weird sister rune, which is the fates, the Norns, or some people call it the Norns rune, which again is the fates. So the three sisters, if you look at in Greek mythology, it's the ones that hold the eyes, and they have one eyeball for three people and they rotate and stuff like that. But it is all based off of past, present, future. They hold your fate. So usually when this one comes up in a reading, it is kind of a dealer's choice on how you want to read it. So when I get the blank rune, and how I can know it's a blank rune and not just empties, because the one side is completely blank, but this side won't have a rune on the inside, but I know it has the carving, so I know that's my blank rune. It's the easiest way. On crystals, sometimes it's hard because if you do a casting on it, it just kind of like falls crazy and stuff. So finding your blank rune on a crystal set is a lot harder than finding it on like a wood one where you have carvings. But I'm sorry, that was just like a side note. I apologize, my nose is itchy. But yeah, so I like to read this one as, you know, be cautious, be careful type of rune. And it's because you can't have it up, down, sideways, up, you know, forward facing. It doesn't matter which way it falls. It's always going to be a neutral type of rune. So I like to read it as be cautious, because you don't really know what's going to come your way, which means someone's putting a wall up on your reading. That's a possibility. Someone's kind of shielding a little bit. Usually it's a higher power that's like, I don't want you. And actually, I think, was it Baby Billy Joe? Actually, Billy Joe, I think I might have did a rune reading that you had a blank one. And I think I said the same thing, is they don't really want me to do a reading for you. I can't remember. I think it might have been Billy Joe. But they don't want me to do a rune reading for you because they want to tell you some type of information yourself. So it really just is dealer's choice on it. But this is one of my favorite runes, the weird, like W-Y-R-D, weird sisters, or the Norns, which Fate Sisters is what it is. It's just the easiest way to say it. But it's past, present, and future. So it's dealer's choice. In my personal preference, that's how I look at it. I feel like carved bones call to me. I'm unsure if I need to make them or find them. Ooh. I love bones. I wish I could be like you and Gina and like find bones and stuff like that, but I never find bones, and I wouldn't know what to do like to get the bones or anything. Like I'm not that knowledgeable on that stuff. So I always look to you guys for like, hey, you guys got bones. I'll send you the link if you want, Serenity, for the amulet. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And it's pretty cheap too. It's not like crazy expensive. It's a reasonable price for what it is. Oh, I love that, Sarah Lee, about your first set. Oh, I will, for sure. As soon as it comes in, I'll definitely show you guys Billy Joe. Yeah, it's the easiest way to say it because, you know, cultures blend. This is just the Nordic version of their fates. They do have a slight change in their like story. It's not completely like the Greek, but it's very similar to it with their own little specifications. But that could always be actually live in itself, because they're amazing. The sisters, the Weird Sisters. It's literally called the Weird Sisters, but it's WYRD, weird. Billy just says, I like the ones I was gifted, but I have been a strong pull to get a set that is old. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, get an old set or find an old set. That would be really neat. Like, it really would be cool. And it's like, I always have so many, a plethora. Sonny says, I have a rabbit foot that I am working on, and the pelts, I'll give you one. Ooh. I do love pelts. I have my white pelt today. I'm using my rabbit pelt. It's a white one. And then I have a fox one that I was gifted by Gina that I am obsessed with. And that one sits on my altar back here, which you can't really see her, but Morgan's back there. Story says, so how could it be connected to Odin? Because my husband swears that's his rune. So Odin has his own rune. I'm pretty sure I discussed that earlier in my first live. Let me see if I can find where I talked about it. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Anaz. I talked about that. That is the communication rune. So when it comes to Anaz, let's see if I can figure out where I put him. It's very communication, and because he had the wisdom of knowledge, like he was the All-Father and is the All-Father, he had literally his own rune, just like Thor has his own rune too. Anaz, it was Odin's actual rune. So the blank rune was always for the sisters, because it's an unknown rune, because there's no set rune on it. So it's a mystery. And like the Weird Sisters, they're a mystery, because you never know when your fate is actually going to be cut and severed. So that's how I was always taught. And that's how all my research has always been, when I first started learning about runes and like how to cast them and stuff. And it was always that way. So Anaz was always his, and it's the mouth rune. And I know it's flipped for you guys. I promise I'll flip my camera around. It's just, I have you facing me at the moment. But this was the Anaz. This is Odin's actual communication rune. So that was that. But yeah, I thought I remembered talking about it a little bit on the last live on that one. Everyone with me so far? But yeah, I mean, that's how, like I said, that's how I was portrayed. That's how all my information always been. It's very detailed like that. Like, everything has a place. But like I did mention multiple times on my last live, you interpret the runes in a very general, basic way. I showed you all the books and stuff on my last one. You can buy all the books. You can read their version and their definitions, like, verbatim if you want. Just like tarot. You can read them verbatim. However, I like to take the simple meaning of it, and then I'll take the simple meaning of the next one. And I like piecing a puzzle together, because sometimes the runes lay on top of each other. Sometimes the runes barely touch. Sometimes they're completely apart. Sometimes they're forward-facing, or they're reversed, or they're halfway sideways. I like to piece the puzzle. Like, okay, I'm looking at one rune, which we might talk about that tonight if we have time. I like to look at the one rune and be like, okay, so I'm going to look at Gabo, all right? And when I'm looking at Gabo, it's a gift, okay? But some people like to look at Gabo like a crossroad, okay? Well, a crossroad could be a gift too. You could look at like a pact. You can also look at it like an exchange, a balance, right? You can look at it like a partnership, generosity, any type of like relationship. But if you look at a crossroad, a lot of people like to look at crossroads like a dealer. It's where you make a pact with an entity, a deity, anything like that. And with those crossroads, you make that partnership, you make that relationship, you make that pact, you make that commitment. So if I'm looking at Gabo and I see Gabo laying one way, and then all of a sudden I see Kanaz, which is the fire rune, and I'm like, whoa, y'all too close together. Like, what happened? So then I'm going to piece it together and be like, okay, well, Gable was in the center. I read from the center out. That's how I always do it. It's how I was taught. Well, no, I lied. It's not how much I was taught. It's how I just taught myself how to read it. And that's just what felt, comfortable for me. But like, I'll look at the crossroads, Gabo, and then I'll look at Kanaz, and Kanaz my fire rune, and I'm like, okay, hold up, what's up? Wait a minute. So I got a torch, which is the fire rune, and it's burning too close to the deal rune, the partnership. So is there a problem? Is there a problem with this? Like, something break apart? Or is it a caution? Like, hey, be cautious. You might have some discrepancies. Some harmonious stuff might not go that way. So I look at, like, because that's what these two runes are right here, right? I got Gabo and then I got Kanaz. And, if they're like this, that's one way. If they're like this, I'm like, okay, I don't feel so bad. If they're like this, I'm like, oh, shit. So you see what I mean? It's kind of like I like to piece the puzzle together. And by the way, I hate puzzles as a kid. I was never the one to try and put puzzles together. But when it comes to runes, it feels so natural to piece it together. Because I like things very simple when I do my readings. Because once I say that, like I'll say, okay, it's a partnership, and then I got fire, and then my mind starts turning on the inside, and I'm like, okay, well, there's an exchange of some kind, and that pact got broke. And then my mind digs deeper. You know what I mean? But I took a couple words from two different runes, and then I'm just building into it. And my intuition picks up, and my thoughts, and then I'm starting to see images, and I'm starting to see that vision a little bit. And then I'm starting to feel things, like feel heavy here. I feel tight in my stomach. My hands hurt. My hands are on fire. My head starts pounding. And I blend all that into my reading. And that's why I love runes so much, because it is completely different to me than oracle and tarot readings. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But yeah, so just to kind of like give you a little bit on that. Does that help a little bit? Does it? I hope so. Let's see what I can put this over here. To get in the way. Okay, so let me pull my pelt up, and then we are going to start with Kanaz. So let me see if I can get this bad boy to work for me. Let's hope. Bear with me, guys. Does anyone have any questions so far? The chaos rune is what calls me the most. I'm done. All right, let me switch. Give me 1 sec, guys. Switching. Come on, phone case. Work with me tonight. Just stay in one place. That's all I ask. Let me bring you down. Way down. And then I'm going to zoom in, so don't worry, guys. Just trying to set my baby up here. Too far. Can everyone see? Okay. Everyone good on seeing this? Billy says, it does. I like how you described that. Ooh, thank you. So, and that's, you're going to see how, cause I'm going to teach you how I do my rune castings. And then, I thought we can play and experiment and stuff like that. And I would really love to hear what you guys have to say. And then, if you guys want to do some like practice with rune readings, I would definitely love to see your guys' practice and stuff. It'd be a lot of fun because it's, it's different than you really realize sometimes. But it's so much more powerful because it is solely intuition based. I'm gonna light a candle here too, don't mind me. I like that ambiance tonight. There we go. Let me light that baby. There we go. A little bit of, ooh, that's a high flame. I like high flames. All right. So, let's go. No questions. Sorry, not meaning to be so quiet. Nope. Holly, and I am very sorry, hon. I did peek in that group chat, and I am so sorry for your loss, love. Like, I really am. So I completely understand, and you are more than welcome to be a fly on the wall. You take as much time as you need, okay? Don't even worry. We're here for you. Get some sleep, Carol. See ya. All right. So we're going to work on the first, we're going to move on with these runes. So we're going to break down into the next one, which is Kanaz. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like. And this is that torch rune. So it's that fire rune. I love it because Isa, which, let me, where are you at? Where's my little line? Okay. So remember, we talked about this one. Isa rune, this is the ice rune, okay? So Kanaz is its polar opposite, which I absolutely love. So you got fire and ice. So when you have these two in the same reading, it's crazy because you literally have, like, you can look at it from you're cold and then you got something coming your way to warm you up. Or you can look at it like you have the perfect balance going on, which is always great. It's like a kind of yin and yang. So that's always a magical. So it really just depends. Like if they fall like this, like if they literally fall like that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you got some, you got a little bit of harmonizing going on here. But if it's like this, I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, I mean, it looks like the torch is breaking through your little bit of an ice issue here. So you got some barriers going on here. You got some things that are like, hey, stop, no more. And you got something that's light in your way. So that's a positive thing. So like, that's really cool. But if it's like that, I'm like, you might want to look at some imbalancing going on here. You know, so it's kind of cool. Like you can read it so many different ways just depending on how it falls. Yeah, I thought you were the one that had, I thought you, because I remember, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch your rune reading that I did, that I videoed, and I feel like you did have these two also, so there was that imbalance, or that balance thing going on too. But that's what I love so much. But, okay, so let's go back to our friend here. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. I want you guys to be able to see it perfectly. Okay, so Kanaz. So this has that representation of torch, fire. You can look at it like a vision also. And how I always look at it, like, I will stick to one meaning. So I like fire. So naturally, if I think torch and I think of fire, I'm going to hone it to the meanings of what fire represents, or what the torch can represent, like the light, you know, lighting the way, the tunnel, you know, breaking, you know, cutting through the void, things like that. But this rune also does stand for like a vision, and it can literally represent like you're gonna see something very soon, or something good's gonna come your way, depending on like what other runes are gonna be around it and stuff. You could also think of it like an inspiration, maybe creativity, because again, it's a fire element type of rune, so that is always what fire represents anyways, right? You could think of it like energy. You could think of it like control. Control is always a good one too, especially if you have a Tiwaz rune, which is the warrior rune. If you have that rune with Kanaz, you could definitely think of it in that perspective also. But again, your representation needs to be based off of what else is laying around it. It's a great transformation to rune, passion rune, even vitality if you really wanted to stretch it that way, that's a thing too. So Kanaz is fantastic. So again, torch, okay? So I'm just gonna put him right there. Gabo is our next one. And remember, this is that crossroads one I was telling you about, but it does represent gift as its actual like technical term, but it is gift. And it's pronounced like Gabo, like Ghe, and then Bo, Gabo. But this is, again, like I said, balance. It does have a lot of partnership or and relationship type of crossroads, making a pact, any type of deals, things like that. You can also think of it like a gratitude, because that's what, you know, the gift part is. But another really good thing is you can look at it like a sacrifice or an offering rune. So that's another thing that you can think of too, is it is very like offer based. But again, if you look at the crossroads, And you look at like the pacts and the demons that like make pacts, and the deities like they make pacts. It's always a crossroad. And I'm 100% like, hey, you gotta leave some type of offering, because they're not gonna just do something for you if you don't leave that offering. So no, you're good, Natasha. I was late, so you're actually perfect. So yeah, so this is definitely like one you want to kind of look at, and you can read it so many different ways. You can look at it like a positive or a negative type of rune. Either way, it just really does depend on what you have around you, because that's going to be the key. Let's see, the next one we're going to work with is going to be Wunyo. So let me find him. All right, here we go. Wunyo. So this is our next one. Wunyo is the is the joy rune, and it just looks like a P, as you can see. You're going to see another one that's a little bit different, which is Thorazaz, and it looks like a P too, but it has a line, so there is a difference between the two. But the P is Wunyo, and that's joy. Okay, we'll get to Thorazaz a little bit later. I don't think we didn't get to Thorazaz, did we? Trying to think, did we do Thorazaz? My brain hurts. I can't remember. Did we do the thorn? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked about the thorn. We talked about the rose. So yeah, we talked about thorn. So like Thorazaz is a thorn, so that's the best way to look at it. But P is the joy one, and it's pronounced Woon, like Woon, and then Yo, Wunyo. It does symbolize. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with this rune? It keeps falling out of my hands. Must be a meaning. I don't know. Probably a meaning. Pleasure, a lot of happiness, a lot of comfort even, obviously joy, excitement. Another way could be harmony too, if you want to look at that way. I'd say very hard on like it's successful, because when you bring joy to something or someone, you're, very successful in your task to make them happy. So that can go with it too. It could be a fulfillment, if you want to break into that perspective. Prosperity, you're happy about something. It's because things are going your way. Everything's going your way. So this is definitely a really good one too, that I highly say like this is a positive. Even if it's flipped, like if you flip it upside down, this will be like, hey, I know you're a little like depressed right now, a little sad, but whatever, we'll go with like Gabo. If you got, if it's touching here, be like, whatever deal you made is really harming your, pact right here. So we got to find a way to, get your happiness flipped back upside down, because, depression's a sad thing and it's a heavy thing on someone's soul. And we don't want that. So definitely, the joy rune. Okay. The next one we're going to talk about is Hagalaz. So let me find my little weird N here. Where are you? Hagalaz. Okay, here we go. Hey, mama. Oh, let me get caught up. I'm sorry, I missed some comments. M says, maybe not rune related, but X has been everywhere for me lately. X marks the spot. I always look at X as the crossroads. So I always look at it like, hey, you got 4 directions. Like this is the other flip that I like to do with Gabo, which I can't believe I didn't say it, because I do use this in my runes. But you got 4 directions, okay? From those 4 directions, you're in the middle. Which way do you go? So that's another way I can look at Gabo too in that one. I like this one. It reminds me of Mount. Yeah. This one right here, I could definitely see that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Hagalaz. So Hagalaz is literally pronounced ha, like laughing, ha, 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 and then ga, G-A, and then Laz, L-A-H. Hold on. Z. I was like, let me spell this in my head real quick. Hagalaz. Okay, and I love this rune too because it means hail. So hail is very nature-based, very wrath-based. So this is crazy. And it's kind of funny how all of these, except for this one, are kind of like, be careful. But yeah, this is the very nature-based rune. This is very wrath-based. This is like, you have obstacles that you have to kind of get through. So think of hail, like physically hail. when you get it, you know, usually a tornado can be coming your way soon if you got hail, right? Or hail is very damaging to your property, or it can be very destructive. It could be an obstacle. It could be something that's going to hinder you. It could be something that actually harms you physically too. Like if you get hit with hail and it's a big size hail, that could take you out, you know? So that is a caution to the wind kind of. Please be excuse me. I didn't mean to say it. Please be very, very cautious with this rune, okay? It's a lot of difficulties type of rune. It's a lot of like, can you get through it? I mean, it might be a temporary thing. It might be a permanent thing. Things like that. I really want to learn this. I bought those cards you showed us last time. My runes all... Oh, yay! I'm sorry. But you want to try and get out and go back in? Maybe maybe that'll solve your issue? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate that. This is also like someone could be testing you kind of rune too. So like I said, hail, when you get this one, the hail rune, because it doesn't really matter which way you flip it, up or down. Their meaning is always the same. So that's one of those Isa runes, the one that's, you know, just a line. That's how this is too. It don't matter which way it is, you have problems. So this is that warning, caution type of rune. Hagalaz, hail. Okay. Let's see. Where's the next one we're doing? Navis. Come on, where's my other weird X? Navis. Here we go. Okay, here's our other one. So you know this one was Gabo, right? Which is an XX. And this is Navis. It's a sideways X. So I'll put it here. Well, actually, I'll just grab it, put it together so you can see. Okay, Gabo, big X, like cross X, and then you got a sideways one. Okay, see. So this is the need type of rune. This is now these. You could pronounce it Navis or Nadiz. But it's spelled Nauthiz. But if you break it into a pronunciation, it's Nowd and then Heez, if you want to pronounce it. So Nadiz. But it is the need rune. So your need for something. Again, this is another one. If you flip it upside down, look at that. It don't matter. So if it's a rune that you can flip upside down and it doesn't matter which way you flip it, it's kind of been a pattern and trend if you've noticed. If you can do that, it's a caution rune. So another way to kind of like figure out which rune is which. A lot of restriction, a lot of conflict, because it's a need. You know, you need to feel a certain way, but you need to bring that joy back. So usually if you need to bring joy back or you need to feel happy again, it's because something is sitting in your path or something is in your way. Willpower, endurance, you can think of that too. You could even think of coming through a challenge also. So if you want to like look at it like you have this line up and down, right? And you got barriers on each side of the line. Well, fine. If I can't go down that path, I'll make my own path off to the side and I'll get to where I need to go. You could think of it like that. So a breakthrough of a type of challenge, if that makes sense. Stepping a little further like into their definition kind of thing, you can think of it also like stepping forth into manifestation, even if you really wanted to think of it that way. That's definitely a way. But you know, it's still a caution. It's a conflict kind of thing. So just be very cautious with that. And then our next one, of course, is one of my other favorites, which is, I talked about a lot last live, which is funny because it's part of this live, is our Isa. So it's our ice rune. So a lot of challenges, a lot of like being cautious kind of thing. And it's pronounced Isa, but it's spelled Isa. But it's Isa. So with Isa, it is, like I said, ice. And ice can be looked at so many different ways. So I always like this one because, one, my name is Crystal. Crystal represents an actual ice. Now, whether you want to go like ice that's cold or an ice crystal, that's your own perspective on it. But I like to look at it like an ice wall. Like, I have something in front of me and I have to figure out, can I plow through it? Can I dig through that ice? Or do I gotta pick my way around the top? Or do I have to go in a complete opposite direction until it gets warmer to get around this big ass wall of ice? So I do look at it like a challenge in every shape or form. It's kind of like something forced its way in front of me, and it's not an easy challenge to get around it. It is really hard to just go around ice. It's really hard to climb on an ice wall. It's very slippery. It's very slick. You know, you have a lot of issues on that. So that's why I said it's like probably the most challenging of them all. You can also think of it like a frozen period. You can also look at this like it's forcing me to take a breath. It's forcing me to stop. It's forcing me to find that clarity that I might not have had when I set on this adventure. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at this one too, but it's going to be your perspective. I've been seeing so many places since Sunday and the 333s. I'm surprised I even noticed it. What did I miss? Hold on. Did I miss something? Ever since Sunday, I've been seeing the ice rune and 333. You know what's really funny? I hit 333 today too, and I was like, I don't know what 333 really means. I know threes are big for Morgan, but the 333 I couldn't remember because I'm not as fluent in numerology, so I wasn't sure what 333 meant. But it's funny you said that because I literally made that same comment to myself, and I was like, oh look, 333, you know? I think it was literally 333 when I looked. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But that's interesting, Holly, honestly. But see. So yeah, so Isa. So like I said, you can look at it so many different ways. But again, I'm going to watch on like how I'm pairing it. Like what is it paired with is going to be how I look at it. Because that's so important too. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I got the hiccup. I was like, oh, I got a hiccup. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add to that. Not that I could think of. Okay, so everyone with me so far? I'm not boring anyone, am I? I hope I'm giving clear, simple explanations on it. And then we'll do like a little fun little rune casting kind of thing with the ones we worked with tonight for fun. The next one is Yara. And that's this one. I got an itchy nose, sorry. So this is Yara, and this is pretty cool because you got two kanazas, right? If you think about it, one's just kind of flipped upside down and one's going the other way, which is kind of cool. But Yara represents year. It represents cycles. It's very harvest-like, reaping like your own rewards. Think of it literally like a new year starting. But when a new year starts, is it always easy? No. Like we always like, oh, okay, I had a crappy year. New year, guys, new year. And then as soon as your year comes into play, you get challenges just thrown at you left and right. And it's like, okay, hold up. I got to make some changes. Let me adjust. I can't do the same stuff I did last year. I have to change it for this year for it to be better. So that's a good way of looking at it. You could also think of it like reaping your own rewards or reaping what you sow. Because it is a cycle-based thing. What comes around goes around. You could always look at it that way too. But easiest way to identify this one is because of the angles of it. It literally, if you connect them, like bring them up and connect them, it, you know, can make a diamond. But it's just a continuous thing. Now, granted, there is an actual rune, Iwaz, which is like a diamond cut. So it's kind of hard because there is an actual diamond cut, which that's what Iwaz is, which is a fertility rune. But I mean, it's a good thing. But the fact that it's broken does help you kind of see that even if something is broken, it could be mended. And just like, a circle can still be broken, but it could be fixed. You know what I mean? So this is like a good one. So this is, like I said, the year rune. Put that one there. And then one of my next ones. Let's see, where did you go? We're going to talk about the one we talked about last week, which we talked about as, aka also known as the Death Rune. If you guys remember from our last live, where in the world did you go? Yo. Tree, where are you? Okay, guys, I'm missing a rune, and I'm missing my rune, like my rune of choice. Hold up. Oh my gosh, it was under my keyboard. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, so, Ewas, our yew tree. If you guys remember this one from our last live, we talked about this one, the yew tree. This is that wisdom tree. This is that tree that will give you an ample amount of understanding. But if you know the history of a yew tree, it is a life and death tree. Think of it like the world tree. That might be the best way. The serpent's tree. If you guys know about the world tree and serpent tree and stuff, especially with like Norse mythology, because other cultures have their own version of a world tree. But that's what a yew tree is. It is literally the mystery of life and death. It is a gateway. It's like a passing through a gateway. It's a portal type of rune. But it also can symbolize balance as well. You see how it teeters? It can teeter. So if I get it sideways, I'm probably going to most likely read it like that balance. But if I get it up and down, I'm reading like it's the life or death, cycle of death. Or I'm going to read it as a portal. Or I'm going to straight up tell you like, hey, you got some heavy deities working with you. And they really need you to know some information. And it's a life or death situation. So you might want to start looking into it. Like, I'm going to read it pretty heavy. This is one of the heaviest runes because it is a death rune. Okay? The yew tree is a death tree. Okay? So, I thought you guys, if you guys remember, this is what it is. And by the way, I really hope I didn't say Ewas because we already talked about Ewas. Remember I told you, I was like, oh, we're going to talk about Ewas, the fertility rune. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Pronunciation is Awaz, but it's spelled Eihwaz, but it's pronounced A as in A-Y, and then Waz. Awaz. I am so sorry, because we were just talking about Ewas, so my brain was still on Ewas. It's Awaz. I highly am sorry about messing that up. So the yew tree is Awaz, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, my eye itches again. Oh, yay, perfect. I was hoping, because I don't want to, I want to give very clear information, but I want you guys to see, because I love this stuff. This is my stuff. This is my jam. Holly says, 333 can mean a few things. It can mean you are protected, you are loved. Ooh, I love that. It also can mean divine support and universal alignment. Ooh, yeah. Perfect. I love it. I love it. I'm always protected. I love it. Love it. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is Pethro. And that is a weird looking rune, so I really shouldn't miss it. And you'll see why here in a second. So this is come on. Perthro. So you can pronounce this one different ways. Pethro. Perthro. I hate saying it that way. I call it Pethro. It's just how I always pronounced it. Perthro, because it's spelled Perthro. So it's always Perth for me. But they like to say Per and then throw. So Perthro. It is a cup filled with dice. It's a dice cup, okay? So, look at it this way. Gambling type of rune, okay? Now, does it look like a cup? It does, if I turn it sideways. You can see like kind of like a base of a cup or a bowl in some form. So, if you turn and see that, that might help you memorize it a little bit, but think of it like a gamble, okay? Destiny, secrets, things like that. But you can also use this as a divination rune. And I mean actual, like, the meaning of divination. Like, if you get this, you'd be like, you might need to do some work with some readings. You might need to look at your own wisdom and stuff on this. a lot of like questioning for quest related for self-discovery is a big thing. But this can also represent a fate thing too, because if you're gambling with something, you can also gamble with your life. So that's another thing too. Mystery, even karma. If you want to look at this as a karma rune, that's a big one too. So for sure, I revolve it all around gambling though. You know, you're taking a chance on something, and sometimes that chance does not go for the better. So that's a huge thing too. Yeah, see, yeah, flipped upside down, you can see the dice bag, yeah. So that's what I said, if you turn it and, you know, to help you memorize what it is, like what the meaning is, even if you can't pronounce it, that still works, you know, no matter which way you want to look at it. I like to play around with them. And I mean, I won't lie, like, for a while, it took me a minute to figure out, like, how to pronounce them properly. And then I just kind of, like, trained myself, like, say it over and over and over and over again. Like, okay, am I going to say this right? Am I saying it wrong? Things like that. But that's the biggest way is I always like to turn it to the side and I'm going to see a cup in some form. So that's what's going to help me with a lot of this. So there's that one. Where's my algaes? That's going to be our next one. We're going to move to this one. Means elk. So this is representation of so many different. So if you look at elk, you look at very strong animal, very protective, is able to protect itself, but able to run away to protect itself as well. Okay. So very powerful, but very lucky as well. So not only is it protecting of itself and others, because it will charge at you. Elks will charge at you, but it will protect others as well. They like to say that this is also a sanctuary type of rune. It's very defensive type of rune. It's very instinct-based type of rune. It's a guardianship. And then you can even look at it like a connection to your higher self, okay? Now, how I like to look at it is a 100% a protection rune. I love this as a protection rune. You're going to see this rune on a lot of people's stuff when it comes to tattoos or painting on their forehead going into battle. If they're not using Tiwaz, which is the arrow rune, which is the warrior rune, they're going to use this as the protected rune. So this is heavily a protection rune. So that's pretty much, I don't really use it too much other than as a protection rune. You might see me use it as a defense rune, but again, defense and protection are the same thing. It just kind of depends on what other runes are around. M says, I've seen this on doorways a lot. Yep, and this is one of the ones that you would definitely want to paint on your doorways. So that way, like, no negative energy can come in, because like you guys heard about the whole like don't get a welcome sign, a welcome doormat thing. And that's 100% true. If you get a welcome doormat, you're letting all energies into your home. But if you get a different type of doormat that does not actually say welcome, then you can still restrict your house. So this is great to put around your doorways and have like a little, even if you take like water, like, and I'm gonna say like holy water in a form or spiritual water, and you take it and you draw it on your walls and you let it dry like that. That is still equivalent enough than if you paint it and then, you know, paint it on your original color and then paint your walls over it, whatever color you want. It's still the same equivalency of power. So it's huge. And you're right, this is definitely seen on a lot of doorways. It's seen on a lot of foreheads going into battle, things like that. So this is definitely like that protection rune, like 100%. Solilo, which is our next one, and you've probably seen this one a lot too. This is the sun rune, okay? And it's really easy to see it. Well, let me read real quick. I'm about to go get the unwelcome mat. Have you seen that at the Halloween stores? I think it was at home. It said unwelcome. I wanted to get it. They were all out. So instead, I got a Ouija board one for my front door, and I'm really excited. And then I got this huge, like, door sign, well, wooden sign for outside. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it pretty much means like, know that if you come in here bringing crazy, I'm gonna bring crazy. It's so cool. I'll have to take a picture of it, but it's shaped like a coffin. But yeah, I literally got a Ouija board mat because I refuse to have a welcome sign, because I 100% solely believe you have a welcome mat, you're bringing in crazy energies, and I don't want that in my house. You know, my house is my sacred place. It's my everything. Yes, oh, that's perfect. Also in a lot of attics, crawl spaces, yeah, you want all that protection, especially if you have an older home and stuff like that. Blood also painted over, 100%, yeah. Okay, so, so getting back to our sun rune, Solilo. Either way it works. Solilo or Solilo. But it is the sun, so you can think of it exactly how the sun representation is. You know, it's very powerful, it's very enlightening, personal growth. You could even look at like a hearth, honor, victory, cleansing. So literally any representation that the sun gives, Solilo is the same thing. This is just a huge power sun rune. I mean, it's fantastic. You can't really like, it has an S on it. So it's pretty easy to identify that it's the sun rune. But it's huge spiritual power too, if you want to look at it on a spiritual based kind of thing. Then we're going to go to one of my other favorite runes, which is Tiwaz, and that's the arrow rune. So this is your warrior rune, but this also is the bravery rune. My brain went totally fried there. It is a bravery rune. It's a fight rune. It's fight for justice, honor. It's sacrificing for the greater good. It's huge masculinity rune, by the way. Just like we talked about Odin's rune a little bit ago. This, you know, is a masculine rune. Leadership, battle rune. That's why, like, if you watch any Viking shows or you see anything that deals with Vikings, you'll see this on everything. Anytime they go to battle and war, this is on their head. Like, almost, if it's not the, if it's, oh my gosh. If it's not, come on, brain, Augies, then it's this one. So, you see my brain just shut off for a hot minute? It's this one. So, this one's really good. This is one of the runes that I got on my pendant coming, besides Thor's as, which is, well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Well, no, we already talked about the thorn, the rose with the thorn one, you know, protection one. I'm trying to think. I don't really have anything more to say on this one, just because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the battle rune. Oh, yeah, these are popular ones to get runes together on, honestly. So, for sure. But yeah, so, Tiwaz, this is, like I said, it's just your battle everything. And then our next one is going to be Berkana, or Berkano. And it looks like a bee. So it's really hard not to kind of see this one. But Berkano is literally the birch tree. So, you know, we have the yew tree, which is our life and death tree. You got your birth tree. Or, I'm sorry, birch tree, which is your birth tree. There you go. I said it right this time. So it is a rebirth type of rune. It is like new phases, new relationships, or a type of project, even if you want to kind of go like career-wise. It is very healing. It's regeneration. It's very feminine. So we did talk about Tiwaz being very masculine. This is very feminine. So it's its counterpart. So if you get these two together, you might want to look at the aspect of male and female there. But when it comes to this is definitely that new phasing, that rebirth type of tree. Completely opposite of the yew tree that we talked about earlier. But, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory too. The next one we're going to talk about is Iwaz, And it looks like an M, but not like Manaz M. I gotta find it here. Okay, not Manaz. Where you at? Come on, fool. Okay, so you're gonna see two different types of runes. The one that's an MM, this is Ewaz, okay, which is also known as the horse rune. So I'm not going to show you Manaz yet. I will here in a second, but because that's going to be the next one. But Ewaz, it represents horse. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop it. It represents horse. And this one might be a little confusing because a lot of people are going to think this one is Manaz, but it's not. It's actually opposite. But this is a partnership, a type of cooperation. Think of it like a horse pulling your carriage. Do you trust your horse to guide you to where you need to go? So there's a lot of trust in that. A lot of movement, a lot of transportation. So when you're thinking of a horse, actually think of a horse. What does it do? You know what I mean? Like, you got to have that ability for the horse not to be scared of you. So you have to have that harmony between you and them. You have to be in sync. So there has to be that partnership, that cooperation and all that. So this is Ewaz, okay? AKA the horse. Then you have Manaz. Now you see what I mean? Where it looks, it's like, oh crap, what you mean? Why isn't this M? This is M. This is Manaz, okay? And it's literally pronounced like man, but Manaz. And let me put this one here. So this is humanity rune. This is a divine potential rune. But I like to look at it more of a society. I like to look at it like helping each other, huge cooperation, friendship, okay? So think of, because it's pronounced Manaz, you literally think of man, which man. Men gathered together, form corporations. Then you have guys getting together to hang out. You have guys getting together to just, shoot the shit. You got guys getting out there to have those friendships, to go play ball together, things like that. It's harmony in humanity, okay? So this is a really good... it's thundering so loud here. Thor is talking to you. I love that. Tell him I said hey! We're actually supposed to be getting a storm our way too, so I'm kind of excited because it's been so hot and humid. I need this storm, but that's really crazy, guys, that you guys are getting some storms going that way. You know what I mean? Because, we are talking about runes, are we not? Isn't that kind of cool, though? That's kind of, throwing our way. Is it, hard throwing? How bad? Because Thor's which is the Thorn rune, which we talked about last week, that's Thor's rune. So I wonder what he needs. We should do a rune and be like, hey, what's up, Thor? What's wrong? What's wrong? What you need? All right, guys, we only have 4 left. Okay, so bear with me. Log up. Where'd you go? Oh my, you act like I have all these runes. We already talked about these ones. We already talked about those ones. We're talking about that one soon. Laguz, come on. Water. Here we go. Water. So this is the water rune, alright? I don't really, know which way to kind of, look at it, because it doesn't really look like a rune that would be oh, I could definitely tell that's a water rune. It's kind of one of those ones you have to memorize a little bit. Maybe if you flipped upside down, it's like a backwards L, maybe. I'm not really sure how you want to look at it, but this is the water rune. It's pronounced Laguz. So Laguz, again, water, very emotion-based, which we already know water element is very emotional anyways. Very huge, journey in words, depths of your actual, self. Because, again, emotions kind of reign real deep. It can affect you mentally, can affect you physically. But emotions can also be more of an intuition type of rune, too. So we can look at that. water can renew a lot of things. It can cleanse a lot of things. So that always helps too. It can clear out any like fears, anything that's like stagnant. It can break through. It can move through rock. It can cut pathways through mountains. So water is extremely powerful, and a lot of people can and have forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, like a waterfall. I can kind of see that for sure. That was a really good one, Olivia. But yeah, so just know that like water, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just water. No. Water is crazy. It can douse fire. It can move with the wind. It can cut through mountains. I mean, water is extremely powerful. So a lot of people, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hiccup again. A lot of people take it for granted and don't realize how amazing the water really is, to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. And how it can be too. You know what I mean? It's crazy amazing. So if you want to look at it that way, and then like, you know, if you flip it upside down, you can also, you know, read it in the reverse and just kind of be like, well, you know, be careful, you know, your emotions are getting a little too high for, you know, people, or, you know, you need to bring it down a little bit, or you might need assistance to have yourself taken, I'm trying to think how I want to say that, like, you're taking too much on. I guess that would be a good way to say it. Okay. Let's go with our fertility. So our Ingwaz. So it looks like a diamond. This is your fertility rune, or you can call it like the seed rune. Either way, it's fertility. It pretty much means the same thing. So you can look at this out of a lot of sexual type of readings. You could look at it like a potential of a new energy forming. Ancestral rune on here too, kind of tags in. Think of growth. You can use this for hearth too, because of fertility. You know, you're starting something new, something's growing really hard. No, you're good. Sarah says, I have such a strong bond with the specific waterfall, a hidden gem in the woods, not many people. See, I love that. I wish I had something like that. Don't you live like in the Appalachian area too? So you have like probably more natural based areas than most of us have. But back on to, Ingwaz or Iwaz. It really doesn't. Pronounce it however you want. But I like to say Iwaz or Ingwaz. I'm sorry. Ingwaz. I don't get this rune, I won't lie, very often, so I do forget a lot about it, except for the fact that it's the fertility rune. But pronunciation-wise, yeah, I forget this one all the time. I will be 100% honest with that one. But yeah, think of a lot of fertility, a lot of sexuality, a lot of potential for any type of energy or anything like that. Whew. We've done a lot, guys. Just gonna slide these a little together now, because we got a nice collection. All right, so the next one we're gonna grab is Othala. So it is the hearth rune, or the ancestral rune, or the family rune. And this one, I know a lot of people have seen this one a lot too. So this is Othala. At my work, I see this rune painted on walls consistently, but to me, I know that a good chunk of them don't actually understand the representation of what it is. Yes, it means family, but it's not just the physical family you have. It's the spiritual family you have backing you. It's your ancestors. It's these ancestors that you have never met ever, and you probably never will in a physical sense, but they've always, it's like a bloodline thing. So when I see this rune, you know, I'm going, hey, it's your heritage. Hey, it's your experience. Hey, it's what's hidden in a past life, even if you want to go that far. It's your inherited talent, okay? But it's, I like the sound of that. Sound of that just sounds good. Family rune. Yes, family rune. It's perfectly said just like that. I like to take it a little deeper with that whole ancestor part. I just feel so much more powerful when I get this one, because, you know, you do have that backing, you know, things that you don't realize you have people backing you, that to you, you're like, you know, it's just me, like, I have nothing to do with my family, but I'm not saying this is true, but just using an example, like I don't have anyone that's on my side and family wise. I mean, you got to remind yourself that you always do. You always have ancestors. You have the ones that, you know, unfortunately passed before you, but have always been guiding you in your journeys and stuff. So Othala is really big on, you know, all that because, you know, family and having family in the past is, you know, crucial. So even if it's the physical sense here or a past sense before, it's there. And then our last one we're going to talk about is Dagaz. So Dagaz represents dawn. And I like this because it looks like, what? What does that look like? An hourglass, right? So I always like to look at it like time. So even though the representation is dawn, day, you know, light of the gods kind of thing, but I look at it like time. You have all the time in the world. That's a lie, because you don't. You never know what your time is going to kind of run out. So I like to look at it like, hey, it's my awakening. It's telling me that I have to find my inspiration again. I have to take the bull by the horn, so to say. I have to kind of like get going, do what I got to do, you know, on the here and now. Like the moment that sun rises, I got to go. And I'm not going to end until it's bedtime. And that's how I like to look at it. Because I like to look at it like a time. Like I don't have all the time in the world. So I need to do what I need to do now. Here and now. Okay? So that's one way of looking at it. Interesting to finally know what it is. Time. Yes, time. That's it. And I said I always like to flip it and it hourglass. But it is an awakening. It's, you know, that illumination type. You can also look at it like a flashlight, or this might go a little bit sciencey, but like how your eye actually views things. It's backwards on your, you know, inside your corneas and stuff. And this is what your images actually do in your brain. So showing you like things flipped upside or flipped backwards kind of thing represents that light, that illumination kind of thing, that enlightenment. But I like time. Time is always easier for me to remember. I'm like, yeah, time. I don't got the time like I think I got the time, but I got the time right now. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize what I need to do kind of thing. But that's what I like to use when it comes to Dagaz. So it's Dagaz, right? And then we're going to put our blank rune here because remember, we talked about the weird sisters already. Trying to think. So yeah, fate, past, present, future. We talked about that a lot too. Bring this over here. So we already know that one. So we're gonna put that one right there. And let's just do a small review of our other ones. So if you guys remember this one, this was our wealth rune. This is our Feiyu, our cattle rune. And we did talk a lot about like success, fertility, like material things. So think of cattle, wealthy. Usually people that have cattle have some type of money more than us little low people on my side of Ohio. But this is Feiyu. So remember, this is no, you're good. This is your wealth rune. So that's honestly the easiest way to remember that one. Uruz is this one. This is that wild ox one, remember? If you guys remember. This is that life force type of rune. So oxes are stupidly strong. So remember strength, maybe even courage, untamed potential, if you remember me saying that before. Freedom, a period of like good health even. But it's power. Like it's strength, it's courage. It's something you don't want to mess with. So this is our Uruz rune right here, okay? So I'll put Uruz right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab Thorazaz because we already know this one is the thorn. So last time I said about rose with a thorn, it's very defensive. It's very disruptive type of force. A lot of giant kind of thing. You could think of literally a thorn protecting itself and those that it's guarding. But it's very disruptive, you know. And then we have Rodeo, which was our wagon, our travel also. Travel by land, very spontaneity. I said that right, spontaneity. Journey-like decisions, you know, kind of like, all right, we gotta go. We gotta go on this journey for a reason. And imagine if you got Rodeo and you got Gabo also. Hey, look, you got a journey and at the crossroad kind of scenario. Yeah, you better be careful on that one. It means you're coming across something, you're going to have to figure out what you want to do with it or which direction you want to go. So that's one you got to watch for too. So Rodeo. And then the last one, which is our Anus, which is the F that goes the opposite way than Fate. Wow. Disrespectful. Where's the other one? Oh, so like, you know, Feu goes up, Anus goes down. So I always go like, oh, potential, awesome, I love it. But remember, this is Odin's rune here. So this is that wisdom, that mouth rune kind of thing. Huge communications, and then anything resulting with the gods, that's coming from this rune too. So Anus is definitely one to pay attention to. Does anyone have any questions on those? So does anyone have any questions at all on that, to be honest? Like as far as like the definitions of the runes and stuff like that. Let's see. This one I have been drawing since I was a kid. You know how to draw certain symbols, etc. All that. Oh, for sure. I will say that I used to draw alchemy symbols a lot of the element based. I used to draw a lot of Saturn symbol, and then a lot of the planet Pluto symbol. And when I say like I drew them on everything, I still to this day will write a letter, and after I put my first name, I will put Saturn symbol there. So yeah, Kronos, gotta love it. Huge representation with Kronos. So like I get it, like just drawing things that you didn't even know you were drawing, and you're like, this is interesting. I really enjoyed the way you went over these. Oh, thank you. I hope I kept it pretty simple and pretty like self-explanatory and stuff. Yes, can you do a reading for me later, whatever comes to you with runes? Ooh, we can do one right now if you want. I'll show you how I cast. Well, okay, so let me explain casting a little bit. So you can do casting in so many different ways, and I know this is what you guys love, so let me just zoom out a little bit. You can do casting on so many different ways. A lot of people like to just pick a rune a day. So you'll get a bag, you'll put them in your bag, and then you just kind of, you know, grab one. So let's see. So, let me get caught up. Hold up. My phone just lost my comments. Hold on, guys. Where? Okay. Hold up. I'm swiping back. Okay. Oh, I got you. All right. So, like if I'm just pulling one, right? And then I got the Nadis rune, which is, again, the need rune, right? I could just sit there and be like, okay, so for the day, I need to look at, like, thinking twice about something. I got to realize that, like, I don't always need everything to go my way. I can just take it with a grain of salt. Don't be so needy today. Like, that's how I can kind of, like, look at it. I could break it in that, you know, that type of way. I can think of it like a setback, too, even if I want to do that. So, well, some people like to just pull single runes, you know, like, oh, okay, I got Kanaz today. Let me focus on, you know, fire. I'm going to be very passionate today. I'm going to kind of be careful because I might get burned out also. You can always do that, too, with this one. So, like, there's so many different ways you can do it, but single rune casting is, you know, pretty crucial. I know, I love this sound, too. Where did I put my bell? So let me grab my little mesh bag for it. And I'm going to put them in my bag here. And then some people like to do, just like tarot reading, a 3 rune casting. They like to kind of pull 3 runes, and it'll be past, present, future. That hasn't, said anything. Oh, my speaking to the hard-headed one with that rune. No, you're good, Ronnie. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. I'm just catching up. Oh, thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that. M said, just an observation, really, but the combination of 2 runes into a completely new one, those at the ones I'm most drawn to. I think I'm misreading it. I think I'm misreading. Can you elaborate a little bit? Because I think my brain's not functioning yet. Because here it's 11 o'clock, so my brain's definitely like a little scattered. But my favorite is casting. So I'll show you the way I cast. So I have my bag, okay? And I'm going to shake it up. I can't see no runes inside. I usually will continuously do this over and over again. And then what I do is I'll take however many my hand feels comfortable with, okay? So sometimes it's a good chunk of runes, especially if I need an in-depth one. Sometimes it's just a small amount. So I feel like this amount is good. And I can't see them because I'll put them in my hand. Now these ones are hard because, they're either one way or another. But I'll drop them on my beautiful cloth. So this is my pelt. And I flipped on the other side, okay? And on the first side. And then I'll think of the person I'm doing a reading for. So in this case, I'm doing it for Billy Joe. So I'm going to hold. And let me get into my zone, guys, okay? I got candle lit. I got my incense here. So let me just put myself in a zone for a second. Okay, so this is how they fell. Now here's the crazy thing. She has one that stood up and down. Now you can do one of 2 things. I was just trying to see which one it was, and it looks like it's... Oh, I can't see it because it's all shadowy. I think it's AWAS. I'm just going to flip it. Yep, AWAS. Okay, so it's AWAS. But you can take it so many different ways. You could be like, oh, I'm going to read that. But I don't read my runes like this. I read them if it was like this. Right? So here's what I do. I go, oh, that doesn't have any factor. Oh, that one's dead. That's nothing. Oh, that one's dead. I'll pull this one out too. Yep. This one's too far. It fell off the table, so it doesn't have a factor. Okay, I got 3 runes. And then I'll put all the dead ones back in the bag. So I have 3 runes, which I'm going to zoom in here real quick. Give me a second. So you can see them, okay? As you can see, this is the center of my pelt anyways. So just like I showed you on my other cloth where I had the circles, on a pelt I read it the same way. I'm going to start on the inner circle, and then that's the stuff that's current and very issue-y and things that you need to kind of like figure out. Then it zooms to, okay, so I got some outside influences, or I got something that's coming my way. Like I'm looking forward to even. It just kind of depends on what you read here. So here's how I would read it. So what's really crazy is we have them touching. So you have Gabo and Issa and Rodio, okay? So you have Gabo crossroads, and it's sideways. So it's not even like forward facing or in reverse. You literally have it laying on its side. So you could take this as the same way as it was forward facing and other facing, because the representation is always going to be the same anyways when it comes to Gabo. So they're dead smack in the middle. So you have to read them as a joint, like combined kind of thing. So you have a crossroads going on, okay? You have 4 directions, you can say, that you're being pulled in different ways, and you're not really sure like which way to go. And you can tell that because of Isa, which is your barrier rune. It's leaving you stuck. Like, what do I do? How do I go about this kind of thing? So let's go with Gabo first, all right? So you need to kind of take more of better care of the things around you. But I'm going to go, because of this rune, I'm going to say more of you got to take better care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You might need to take a little bit better assistance from others, as in, I'm going to say, like, there's something that, you know, people need you to kind of, like, see, or some type of information they want to kind of give you. Think of it like you have like a favorable outcome that needs to come your way, but you're stuck. So nothing's gonna come your way because you have something that's in the way, which that's what Isa is all about, right? It's a block. You know, you're kind of stuck. You're frozen in one spot. So because of that, it's giving you a negative outcast. You know, you're being painted in a way that you're like, am I able to kind of like come out of this in one piece? Now, I'm not saying like physically or anything like that. I'm just saying like you could even look at like a spiritual side, but you do have something or some type of circumstance that's literally keeping you stuck, and you're like, okay, now what do I do? Like, how do I get past this? It feels very like dead in this instance. Like it's really kind of just like anchored down. And I keep thinking when I look at this and I see that crossroads, but I see the ice, my mind is literally going to like a ice wall in the ocean, and that ice has so much underneath the water that you can't see, and you think like, oh, that doesn't look so bad, like an iceberg kind. But if you go underneath it, it's a lot worse beneath it than it is above it. And that's what's really holding you down. Like that's what's really driving whatever issue you got, you know, going on. It's really what's stuck in giving you that like, okay, I got this goal. I'm going to bring it all to me. I'm so excited. Like, you know, I can't wait to, you know, do what I want to do. Your balance is just off. Like it's so off right now. And it's because of whatever you got standing in your way. Like you have something or someone or some circumstance that's literally, you know, just driving a wedge right there. So that's a huge thing. And whatever this is too, because you have Rodeo kind of sitting on the side, and you know, Rodeo, like I said, is our travel rune. You know, you're not able, think of it like Thor's chariot in a way, you know what I mean? You can use it as a good thing or a bad thing because it's sideways, but it's more downwards facing, so I'm gonna interpret it that way. But you could be feeling like you're really trapped, like you're living with like ideas or even like, I don't know, ambitions even. Maybe even from others or because of others or on others, but you feel like, you know, like you're prevented from implementing some type of self-transformation because of it. Like it's really pulling you down. Like I said, it's that ice. That ice is really anchoring, and I just literally see all this ice underneath the water, and it's just really like just sinking in and driving in. I feel like what you need to maybe do is take a nice drive, like a physical drive somewhere, just to kind of like release yourself from everything, and take this wall and like find a way to get around it. It's very an inconveniencing-ness of time. I see a lot of time too, like it's just so so much just wasted. And that's just what I'm getting with your reading here. Let me read here and see. So I have to get unstuck blocking myself. Girl, I had a dream about an iceberg. That is so just weird. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's, you're very stuck in something. Now, I don't know if it relates to your physical world or if it relates to your spiritual world, but that's where I'm feeling a lot. And like I said, I really do feel like it feels heavy when I'm just looking at it. And it's so like hidden, whatever this barrier is, that it's become your biggest obstacle. Because like you think like, oh yeah, I can get over that hump. But the underlying part is really what's hindering you. So yeah, you have a huge blockage. Like a huge blockage. But I feel like you need to take some type of travel because Rodeo is like drowning, you know, so to say. And it's just really like, it's just really stopping you from like transforming to the next level. And holy shit, I got a huge ringing in my right ear. So I know it's being agreed upon when I'm saying this. So definitely look into what's really stuck there. Like really kind of maybe like focus inwards on yourself and see if maybe there's something that's kind of like hindering you from going to what you need to do. But again, I can't see what it is, but you know there's something that's putting you stuck in this one spot and not letting you, you know, branch out and be or do what you need to do or find that next level. Thank you. I am really in a test evolving space that is hovering at the moment. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. Hopefully, I feel if you can find a way to rebalance yourself, I do feel like you'll have a good outcome, which, let's see. Let me grab one rune and see how the outcome will be. All right, we got Berkana, okay? So this is that mother rune too you can look at a little bit. This is Mother Nature. So remember when I said take that drive? And remember I said, you know, very like mothering and fertility. I'm sorry, not fertility. Mothering, like rejuvenation, happiness, fortune, kind of things like that. Berkano is definitely, you know, giving you that sign like, yes, you need to kind of get out there. Remember, Berkano is that birch tree too. Remember I said it's that rebirth. So you need to have that type of rebirth to be able to fix this right here. You need to find that healing phase that you got going on. I'm sorry if you hear stomping. My kids don't know how to walk nicely on the floors. But you have to have a form of rebirth. And I do feel because it's mothering and it's nature-based, like think of like Gaia, you need to use that to help you out. So your way of figuring stuff out is going to be based off of a nature type of something. Hopefully that helped. Double Mountains is how I remember this. Ooh, that's a good one. I can definitely get with that one. I like that. So I hope that did help you. I'll do just one more. I'll do Natasha because I did see her ask. Excuse me. I'm word. Oh, these hiccups are killing me. I'm word vomiting. You're good, but like Othala looks like a combination of Ingwaz and Gabo. Yeah, oh, I know. They really did. They do hate autocorrect. I hate it. I see what you mean. Yeah. So it's like a binding rune, it kind of looks like. I can definitely see that for sure. All right, so Natasha, I wish you could do mine with my health. What are you asking for, love? I'm not like amazing with health ones, but I can try and see if we're going to have a good outcome, if that is what you'd like. Just let me know. But I'm just going to do one more, guys, because it is 11:16 here, and I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. I got both boys' football practices. One kid got football pictures. And I got school shopping. So this mom needs to sleep. Will I be okay? Okay, let's find an outcome like this. So close your eyes, Natasha. Just kind of focus on your health. Let me see what I can pull. Oh, shit. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, you all see this. I'm not making anything up. Look. One rune. And it's Gabo. Crossroads. Okay. Well, let me see how I want to interpret this. Okay. I'm going to pull one random rune because I want to get what I'm feeling. Because, again, Gabo might be crossroads, but it's a gift. Think of that, too. It's a gift. It's balance, it's partnership, it's relationships, it's gratitude. So that's not a bad thing, but I'm going to pull one more. It's not really the one I wanted to grab, but we got Pethro, our gambling. Remember? Our gamble rune. So I did pull it up. It did pull out this correct way, face up. So it is a positive rune in this form. So I'm going to read this as positive too. You have a new opportunity. You're going to reveal something. No. Give me a minute. Let me put my mind in check here. Gambling rune. Unknown mystery. Crossroads. 4 different directions. An unknown. 2 unknowns. That's the only way I can read this. You have 2 unknowns. Literally. One that fell out, one that I pulled. You have a lot of different directions you can go, and a lot of different ways it can go. I'm gonna try and pull one more out of a bag, just to see, because pretty much, I mean, shit, why doesn't the fate rune just pull out? Because that's pretty much what all these are giving me. All right. I got Iwas, guys. Okay. Oops. I got Iwas, which is the horse rune. That's great. That means, like, the sky's horizon. It's a great omen. Strong. Like, carries warriors to battle kind of thing. So, this is pretty much saying you have a physical shift coming in a good way because it's very powerful. It's very dominant. So this is that coming for the better kind of thing. So will you be okay? I can't really exactly answer that. But I can say that because of these 3 runes, you do have different ways, different things and options that's going to come your way. Okay? It is a gamble, but it is a good gamble. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense on that. Like I said, you have multiple different directions you can go that you've either taken or will be taking. Different options. Yes, you're going to be like, I don't know if I do this, is it really going to be worth it? It's a gamble. But by getting Iwa's, the horse rune, which is the one that looks like the M, that's nothing but power and strength. Like, they ride horses into battle, so they're dependent on it. So it's very strong and sturdy. So to me, that's dead on, like, take that chance, take that gamble, know that you're going to have those types of things come your way or have come your way. But it's a positive light. So I really do hope that helped. You're amazing. I learned so much. Thank you. I feel so much better. Yay. I love that. And I was worried because the fact that one rune actually stayed up facing, I was like, oh crap. Like, that's not good. You know what I mean? But in the end though, even though Gabo shows that crossroads kind of perspective, it still represents a gift. Like, I'm giving you a chance. So that's what's, you know, where the reading of the ones around you runes really make and break what the reading is going to be depicted as and show. So I hope that really does. I mean, you say, you feel so much better about it. So I know it did help. But just to kind of give you guys like a little example, which I'm going to zoom out a little bit here more. But to kind of give you guys an example, like, you see how I just cast it and, whatever falls a certain direction, I just pulled the bad one, the ones that flipped blank on me, and I pull it out. And then I read them accordingly from the center all the way out. And that's how I do my rune readings. And I feel that my rune readings are very successful by me doing it this way. But as you've seen, we had one rune, right? And then I had to physically draw another rune out to figure out about this one. And then I had to draw another rune out to figure out about that one. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff that you kind of got to be like, well, I'm not getting a clear answer, but I need a clear answer, so I'm going to dig for this clear answer. So you're kind of forcing the runes to speak for you because they want to shy away. And, I'm nosy. I want to know. You know what I mean? Like, I want to dig a little bit. So I do hope that helps. I'm going to turn my phone. Hey, I'm back. And I'm just going to move it this way a little bit. Actually, I want to move it a little over here. I like my darkness. This phone stand. I gotta get a new phone stand because of this case. It's horrible. Horrible, I tell you. Horrible. So yeah. So hopefully that gives you a little bit for tonight to kind of like put a little bit new perspective. My notes are all over the place. A little bit of a perspective on how, I do my stuff. No, you're good, Ronnie. Ooh. Drop stuff. And I hope, like, when we were going over the runes, I was able to give you very simplistic type of, like, breakdowns and details. Because those are what really helped me, like, figure some stuff out and kind of, like, really hone in and zone in on it and stuff like that. But like I said, the pronunciation, remember when I told you about getting the single runes and stuff like that? You can do it. That's how I was able to learn, Thorazaz and Issa and Kanaz and Tiwaz and Soylo. Like, it's because I got those single runes, or they're like the runes that kind of really drew me in, so I remembered them more. Like Hagalaz, Hail, you know what I mean? Like a destructive force, powerful force, things like that. So it was always kind of cool. But I love runes. I love casting them. They're so much fun. I really would love you guys to play with them. So maybe on our next live, we can play with them a little bit. And I would like to kind of, see what you guys come up with. I don't know if I'm going to have any time to do like how Sarah has her tarot program where you guys kind of like pair up and stuff like that. But we can try and figure something out. It'll just take me a little bit of time. Next month I have my Lilith live. And then I was going to work in a little bit more with the rune castings and the different like styles and stuff. But we kind of did just do that now. So, but I do want to see like where, actually, I'm not want to see. I would love to hear out of all the 24 runes we just went through, including the blank rune, which one rune did you feel the most connected with that we learned about? I would love to hear that right now. out of all the runes, which one, when you heard the breakdown or heard how to pronounce it or seen it, did you go, oh my God, I love that. I love that rune. Like, that's me, or that's something I like. You know what I mean? What rune was it tonight? I would love to hear it, guys, because I told you about all my favorite ones. Like, I love Thorazaz, the Thorn. I love Tiwaz, the arrow-looking one. I like Uruz, which is the one that looked like a little hump. I love Isa, Kanaz, Hagalaz. I mean, I love so many runes. I can't wait to get my tattoos and stuff like that of the runes. I'm actually thinking, because my husband and I, we don't wear rings at all. Like, our jobs don't. Well, my job is don't do it. His job is like, do you want to lose a hand or a finger? So don't wear one. But we want to get tattoos, but I don't want a ring tattoo. I want a symbol. And we were thinking about getting Tiwaz tattooed on our ring finger. So that's always cool. You know what I mean? So let me just go and review here. I need to make some flashcards. You know what? And that's a good way of doing it, honestly. And then on the flashcard, which don't forget, there's those cards that I showed you guys on the last live. If you guys don't remember, they break the pronunciation down for you too. And my daughter got me the set off of Temu, so it was like a couple bucks. And I know they're on Amazon as well and stuff, so it'd be really easy. Oh, it was my pleasure, Holly. I love doing, this is my jam, guys. You could tell, I love this stuff. How you do your readings makes so much sense to me. I love that. And that's what I wanted. I wanted you guys to really see how it's very simplistic how I do my readings. I don't try and over exaggerate it or read crazy. If 2 runes fall out, I read just 2 runes. If I have to pull a couple extra to elaborate, I pull a couple extra to elaborate. But the connection, that's your intuition. That's where you can't go off of a book or anything like that. You have to literally sit there. And like I said, when I was envisioning the ice wall, I'm envisioning an iceberg. And I'm envisioning the bottom part of it. And I can feel how heavy it is. And it's just sinking. And I can just picture all the way down to the bottom part. And how deep it goes. And how you just can't see it. I see all that. You know what I mean? In my mind. And the crossroads, it just kept looking like, nope. Like, you see me. You see me. You see me. Like, I'm right here. You gotta figure it out. Like, you gotta figure out which way you're gonna go, kind of thing. No, it's good, Ronnie. Hey, there's always replay. That's why we're here. I'm definitely connected one at the time. Kanaz is the first one I ever pulled. Torch, gotta love it. Fire, passion. Just creative, destructive force in itself. We can always have you draw and have us interpret it in the comments. Ooh, we can always do that on the next one. Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. The death rune. Oh, the yew tree. Yeah, that one's fun. I don't feel a huge connection to any of them yet. Aw, you know what? Maybe when you play with them, you will. That's always quite possibly. Pethro connects with me tonight. Ooh, okay. I like it. A little bit of a gamble. Okay. And you know what? The death rune, Holly, by the way, that makes sense because of your situation. So I do understand that one. On why you're pulling to that one tonight. So I do understand that one. I wanted to look something up real quick, but I can't find it. Sorry, I'll look for it another time. But yeah, the death, the yew tree. So, oh my gosh, why did I just blank out, guys? I think that's my mind saying, go lay down. I was. There we go. My brain went, I was. The Double Mountain one, Burkana, yes. The goddess, the earth, the nature, the Mother Earth one, for sure. Kanaz, the blank one, and the one mostly for protection. I wanted to say something about the blank rune. What did I wanted to say though? I wanted to read you something. That's why I brought this dang thing out in the first place, and I completely forgot what it was. I'll figure it out. So, Kana's fire, the blank one, the weird sisters, fates, things like that, and the protection one. You mean the one that was the elk, algaes? That one, the one that kind of looked like which I don't have it here. It's like a line and then two going out that way. It looks like well, they said the elk kind of thing. My papers are falling everywhere. The year one. Yara. It's the one that kind of has like an angle and then a reversed angle on the bottom. The cycle one. Oh, I love that. I love that. Ronnie says she's been sleeping with hers. I keep dreaming about an old man on a hill. Can't see his face, but I'm hoping it's who I think it is. An old man on a hill. I've been sleeping with mine. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I like it. You know, also too, like you can do yes or no with runes. So you know how like tarot does yes or no? Runes can do yes or no too. And can be in different ways. If the runes fall facing up, it's a yes answer. If the rune falls facing down, it could be a no answer. Did you know that? Bet you didn't. So, I mean, we'll go do all that like on another live and all that, get kind of like play with it and stuff. But you can read yes or no also if it's upwards facing or if it's upside down. Upside facing is a yes, so like up and down perfectly. Or if it's reversed in a reverse way, it's a no. So again, you can read them so many different ways. It's just kind of like however you want. My cards and runes don't have a blank one. So that brings up a good point. So there are some sets that do not give you a blank rune. So I always highly advise you to look to see if it offers a blank rune. I had one set that did not. That was the set I did not keep. So yes, there are sets that you will not get the blank rune because some of them do not follow or believe in the representation of what the blank rune stands for. It's more of a fate rune than a blank one. Yeah. The fates. All right. Well, I am going to head to bed. It is late. And I actually have the munchies. I'm hungry. I didn't eat dinner after football practice. I wanted to prep and stuff like that. So, but I'm going to head off here. If you guys have no more further questions for tonight's live, I'm going to mosey on, guys. But if you guys have any questions, if you're watching the replay, please don't hesitate to put your comments in. I would definitely love to hear what you guys' runes are, even for on a replay. Which one really pulled you? Which one, called you the most? Or if you were like M and none of them really spoke to you like powerfully tonight, which that just means you might do better when you're holding them in your hand, and which one really comes out more frequently. You're just kind of like looking at them like, oh, this is a really pretty one. Sometimes that's your way of being pulled to something. So I really hope this kind of gave you some fun things in it and just kind of, opened your horizon and showed you something you might not have recognized or seen before. Now, learning of the runes is always going to be hard. But look at the rune and see what it what it looks like to you, and see if you can find a way. Just like Pethro, the cup, the dice, the gamble. When I turned it sideways, it looked like a cup, like a bowl. So that's the easiest way, I can think about it. When I looked at Yara, and it's the ones for, had the two angles, an angle up top and then an angle on the bottom facing, kind of if you put together, it looks like a square or a diamond, and it represents cycles and the year and stuff like that. Easy ways to think of, like how can I bridge this together? How can I memorize it? And that's how it works for me on things like that. So I hope that all helps you guys. And you're very welcome, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast. I love doing my lives for you guys, especially when it's something I'm so passionate about. But most of my lives I'm always passionate about. Some things I just learned. I am learning some new stuff, guys, which I just got new books in. So I'm going to share with you guys because you guys love books. But I just got these in. This one is, well, let me start with this one because this is the first one. So this is from an author, an actual Asian author. I have been tapping into Chinese folk black magic. I have been tapping into my past life Asian side, and I want to learn about more of their, I'm not going to say witchcraft deities because they didn't believe in that style. It was different. But I did buy this Chinese folk black magic book, and it's a pretty big book. I haven't read it yet because I just literally got them last night. But the information in here, this is what it is. So in this book, I invite you to step into the mystery world of Chinese folk black magic, revealing ancient rituals and spells hidden within history and legends. Black magic is not merely darkness and curses. It is the transmutation of power, the means of control, fate. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced seeker of the occult, I invite you to journey with me across time and space, touched by forgotten forces, approached with reverence and curiosity, and unveil the secrets of ancient Chinese sorcery. What this book actually breaks into is so much, but it's all Asian style. So it's their type of magic, and it's amazing. You have history in here, you have folk, you have rituals, you have spells, but it's all based off of what they did back in the dynasties. So it's really cool. So I got this one. And then by the same author, I got this one, The Black Magic of Wealth. Discover the forbidden practices, the real spells, and the secret of global wealth mysticism. So, and that's this one. Same author. This one's a little bit smaller, but it has an amazing amount of information for you. So obstacles to wealth, decoding the mystical causes of financial misfortune. So it's not to go after anyone else to make them, lose their money and you become rich. No. It's just stepping into what imbalancement do I have of myself and how can I correct it using magic, but a different form. And what's really cool is they have talisman information in here too, how to create ancient Chinese talismans. Then it also talks about their deities as well and summoning their deities to assist with this type of thing. So my rabbit hole, guys, is what I've been breaking into. Don't ask me to pronounce the name, but if you want to know about it, hit me up. I don't know if you guys, I know it's backwards for you guys, but I don't know if that helps a little bit. But yeah, I don't want to butcher anyone's name, especially my new rabbit hole obsession that I'm digging into for fun. But that's what I got there. All right, so let me get out of here. Let me go eat and sleep. And I will see you guys in September for the Lilith Live. This is going to be kind of we're bridging further into Lilith. It's not that we're going to revisit Lilith because I already did a Lilith Live years ago. We're going to dig deeper into Lilith. Yeah. So I thought it was fitting for September. And then in October, we're going to hit up Morgan. And we're going to dig deep into the Morgan. Again, it's not going back over what Sarah Nicole already spoke on with her, but it's going a little further on in my perspective as well. So, all right, guys, I'm headed out here. Namaste, blessed be, and I'll see you guys very soon. Have a great night. Love you guys.